Hey girls, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing some simplistic green dip powder nails using products from Double Dip. These are perfect for the holidays or any time of year. You can switch out the colors as well if you like. I do already have my nails prepped how I want. I do have a base coat gel and also a peel base over that for easy and quick nail removal. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and apply my nail tips. I'm just applying a little bit of nail tip glue and I'm placing them down on the nail. These are extra long square nail tips. I do already have the surface of the nail tip filed as well, so I don't have to go back and file after the nail tips are applied. So here are the nail tips after they've all been glued down. I am going to go ahead and take my nail tip cutters and cut down a little bit of length. I do want my nails to be long, but I am cutting down quite a bit of length just because these are going to be dip powder nails. So here we have the fully prepped and ready nails for the dip powder application. If you do want your nails to last, make sure to prep your nails properly. These are the two dip powder colors I'm going to be using for this manicure. I really love this green color. I feel like it's a perfect green color for fall and winter. This is a deep greenish, slightly blue color, which does have some shimmer. And this white dip powder color does have very fine silver glitter. I will be applying my dip powder using the dip base, which is step number 2. The first thing I'm going to start by doing is start building the apex of the nails. So to do this, I am taking the dip base and I'm applying this just below where the nail tip meets the nail bed area, and I'm doing a thin strip of base all the way down to the free edge. I did go ahead and dip the nail into the powder and tapped away the excess. I am going ahead and repeating the exact same step for the other 4 nails. For the pinky and the ring fingernail, I am using the green dip powder color. For the other 3 nails, I will be using the white dip powder to build the apex. Do keep in mind, if you want to save as much of your colored dip powders as possible, you may want to do this step with a clear or natural colored dip powder. Personally, I do all of my dip powder layers with the color I'm planning to use for the nail. Just because I have so many dip powder colors, I would not be able to use all of the dip powder colors that I have if I did not do all of the layers with the color. That is just something that I do. Again, if you want to save all of your dip powder colors, I would definitely do all of these steps with the clear dip powder. For most colors, you only need about 2 or 3 layers of the color to get the perfect opacity for the nail. After doing the first layer of dip powder, I am taking the Unicorn Fluffy Nail Brush and I'm going to go ahead and remove all of the extra powder from the nail. This step is very important to prevent ruining your dip liquids. Again, I am taking the dip base and I'm going to apply this to a slightly larger area of the nail than the previous layer of dip powder. Doing this is going to build the apex of the nail. If you do not know, you do need a good structure for your nails to prevent them from breaking. Because the nails are this length, I do have to do quite a few layers of dip powder. Again, this is going to prevent my nails from breaking. You do want to focus about 2 or 3 layers of dip powder at the stress area of your nail, especially if you do have nails that are longer than a short nail length. You could apply multiple layers over the entire nail, but doing this is not going to give you an apex. So that being said, your nails are going to be very flat. Because of that, if you have to do multiple layers over the entire nail, it is going to make your nails look very bulky. And again, you're not going to have the proper structure for your nails not to break. So if you do want to have nails that are longer than a short nail length, you do have to build an apex. And this is the best way to build an apex with dip powder. How many layers of dip powder that you need to do just depends on how thick you want your nails. It also depends on how long your nails are. Personally, for me, I like to do about 5 or 6 layers of dip powder. This nail set in particular does have 6 layers of dip powder. The last layer is being an encapsulation layer, so that one I will be doing with a clear dip powder. All of the steps for these layers of dip powder are very repetitive. After each layer of powder, I am dusting away all of the extra powder from the nail. I then go back with the dip base and do a slightly larger area on the nail than the previous layer of dip powder. I personally aim for about 2 or 3 layers of my dip powder application to be over the entire nail, just so that I'm able to have a good opacity of dip powder color around the cuticle and sidewall areas of the nail. I am going to go ahead and finish out my application, and I'll come back once I finish the dip powder. If you guys are interested in any of the products I'm using in this video, everything will be linked down below. You can also use my discount code KCNAILS20 to save a little bit of money on your purchase. If you noticed, I did skip the middle fingernail for the last layer of dip powder. I did this because I am going to be doing a dip powder marble, so I am taking the Double Dip Nails French Tip Dip Powder Tray. This is a tray used to create French tips with dip powder. I am just starting by taking some of the white dip powder color and I'm pouring a decent amount of powder into the tray. Then taking a cuticle pusher, I am picking up the green dip powder color and I'm going to be placing this in random areas on the surface of the white dip powder. After placing the green dip powder, I am taking the pointed side of my cuticle pusher and I'm going to go ahead and start marbling the two colors together. When doing this, you do not want to overdo this step, otherwise you will not get the marble that you want. You also want to make sure to try to keep the color on the surface of the dip powder, otherwise you will not pick it up when you go to dip the nail. If you don't like how the marble looks, you want to just keep adding both of the colors until you get the marble looking exactly like you want it on the nail. So once I have the marble looking exactly how I want it to look on the nail, I am taking the dip base again and I'm going to apply this to the entire middle fingernail. After applying the dip base, I am turning my hand upside down and I'm going to go ahead and press it down into the marble that I've created with the dip powders. After dipping the nail, I did tap away the excess and that is the marble nail design. Of course, I am going to go ahead and remove all of the extra powder from the nails. When doing marbles or any type of color dip powder, you may want to encapsulate to prevent filing off the color when you go to file and shape. So I am taking the 000 clear base dip powder and I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate all of the nails with this color. After that final layer of dip powder is dry, I did go ahead and dust away all of the remaining powder on the nails. The next step is to take the activator, which is step number 3, and apply this very generously to all of the nails. Activator is going to fully dry all of the layers of dip powder and allow you to properly shape and file all of the nails. So here are the nails after the dip powder application. They are very bulky and lumpy looking. We are going to be fixing that with shaping and filing. I did this step off camera because it is very time consuming. So this is what the nails look like after shaping and filing. As you can see, the nails look so much better already. I did keep the square nail shape for this manicure, but of course you can do any shape that you like. Do not be scared to file your nails. You do have to do quite a lot of shaping and filing to get your nails to look as professional as possible. So let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the nail design. So for the first nail art decoration, I do have this gold leaf foil, which I will be applying to the nail. I will be applying this using a rhinestone applicator and the dip base. To apply the foil, I am just taking the base and I'm applying this in the corner of the nail. I am not applying this over the entire nail, but you can if you like. I am just picking up some of the gold foil flakes and I'm placing that into the dip base. You do want to make sure to place the foil as flat against the nail as possible. You can encapsulate the gold foil with clear dip powder, but personally I just did it over the surface for this nail design. I will be doing the exact same thing for the opposite corner of the nail. For the next nail, I do have these orange colored rhinestones. I'm going to go ahead and pour some of these out on the table. I'm going to go ahead and take a matte gel top coat and apply this to the index nail and place the rhinestones at the cuticle of the nail. For this application, I am just placing 2 rhinestones vertically at the cuticle of the nail. Before I cure the index nail, I am taking the same matte gel top coat and I'm going to go ahead and apply this to all of the other nails. You can use a glossy top coat, but for this nail set, I did want all of the nails to be matte. I did also apply the rhinestones the same way as I did the index nail onto the thumbnail as well. Next, I am taking the Bellavina Polygel. This is the white one from the Classic Edition kit. I also have some rubbing alcohol in my dabbing dish and I will be using the Polygel brush. I will also be using a dotting tool as well. Taking my dotting tool dipped in the rubbing alcohol, I'm going to go ahead and pick up a very small bead of the white polygel and I'm going to place this towards the cuticle of the ring fingernail. After dipping the polygel brush in the rubbing alcohol, I'm going to go ahead and start shaping the flower. To do this, I am just smashing a line down the center of the bead of polygel, and then I'm going to go ahead and start shaping the sides of the flower. You can make the flower petals pointy or rounded, it just depends on your preference of flowers. For this nail set, I did want the petals to be very rounded. After shaping the first flower petal, I did go ahead and cure for about 20 seconds under the nail lamp. You do want to make sure to cure all of the flower petals individually. I'm going to go ahead and do 2 more flower petals just beside this one. Doing 3D flowers with polygel is pretty easy, but there is a technique that you have to learn. My biggest tip for this type of sculpting is to make sure not to have too much slip solution in your polygel brush, just because it will start mixing with your polygel and make it a little bit runnier. When you have a runny polygel, it is nearly impossible to do 3D flowers. So do make sure your polygel is on the stiffer side, and you make sure not to use too much liquid when you're sculpting out your flowers. Again, you do want to make sure to also cure each flower petal individually, just because if you do not, by the time you finish your flower, the first flower petal will have moved. Even if your polygel does not move at all, there is a possibility that you will have to shape a flower right beside the first one, which will cause you to move the first flower petal that you created. So curing each flower petal individually is very important. I'm also going to be doing the exact same flower mirrored at the free edge of the nail. After I have the flowers like I want and everything is cured, I am taking the matte gel top coat again, and I'm placing a small drop of this in the center of each flower. I'm going to be placing the same rhinestones that I used for the index and the thumbnail in the center of the flowers. I did go ahead and cure for a full minute. And the last step is to take the cuticle oil, this is step number 6, and apply this to all of the cuticles. It is very important to rehydrate your skin after all of your manicures. And here are the nails. I really love how this nail set turned out. I think this green color is absolutely beautiful, and it goes very well with the white dip powder color. These are very simple, but they're still very elegant. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Do make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you're not already, don't forget to hit subscribe because I do post weekly videos, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!